Oh, they are. Thank you. The auto turns down. Now we're back.
Well, you were just saying something good.
Yeah, so the takes were a little too hot.
They were pretty hot.
And we had to fire up the backup doomsday generator because power was conveniently cut to this whole neighborhood.
Right as I was talking about Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos. Convenient, isn't it?
Makes you think.
Convenient. It does make you think.
We've also relocated to a bunker at an undisclosed location.
600 meters below sea level.
Yeah, exactly. They can't touch us here. You can't touch me here, Bezos.
I am a sovereign citizen, and I do not give permission to Facebook to own my.
The same baby boomers who told us not to, not to get in a stranger's van. Post.
I am a sovereign citizen.
Yeah. Okay.
So getting away from COVID and back to music, Joel. That's what my true passion is.
Well,
is not discussing COVID-19 vaccinations. It's about the art.
Well, the one thing that I think is particularly interesting about you and COVID, I think you have a fairly unique COVID story compared to most musicians. I think most musicians have a pretty similar, there's variations on it, but they've basically all done what I did because I'm not a creative person, which is COVID hit. We bought some mics and an interface.
Yeah.
We tried to figure out a little bit of home recording. We started baking bread or started some other hobby.
Yeah.
And then, played some live stream gigs and are kind of waiting for things to come back. And look, that's what I did. There's nothing wrong with it.
Sure.
It's great. But you took a different approach.
Well, I didn't even necessarily mean to take a different approach. I mean, I've done all of that too. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I've purchased an interface and blah blah blah, and I'm doing home recordings. I haven't done too many music live streams, but I have done maybe 1,000+ hours of live streaming on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of punch in every day. I stream like 5 days a week for like 5 or 6 hours.
Right, and you're mainly streaming you playing retro video games.
Yes, that's exactly it.
So you're playing like NES games and SNES games, and you've developed quite a following. And I think some of your streamers are maybe even watching this.
Yeah, hopefully there's some of you fine folks out there. You just let me know, and there's a VIP badge waiting for any of you. Yeah,
and I follow you on Twitch.
That's
and
right.
I've tuned in a few times.
Abe Vagota.
My name on Twitch is Abe Vagota, but goat spelled GOAT, as in I am the greatest of all time.
The greatest of all time.
Yeah, next to the true Abe Vagota.
Yes, well, of course. No, it's you know what? It's something that I started doing right at the tail end of 2019. So the timing just kind of like worked out. Because I started doing it right at the tail end of 2019. Like, I've been a Twitch user for a very long time, like almost 10 years or so. Just like I like watching that stuff. It's like I don't watch TV or movies really, but I like live entertainment. I like sports and I like live streaming.
Right.
And I kind of was just like, I need a hobby, because literally all I do is like play gigs and go to my friends' gigs or like go to the bar. It's like those are like the only things I do. I don't like. I don't do woodworking. I don't,
Yeah.
So I like desperately needed a hobby. And I thought that would be a cool one because, like, I have friends on the platform, and it was like a good excuse to like hang out online with some like internet friends for a few hours here and there, and like play some old timey video games, some dusty old nuggets from yesteryear, you know.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're someone who's like extremely social, and I think it's fair to say like pretty extroverted. And while we all had to stay cooped up in our homes, you got to like keep interacting with people, building a
Yeah.
community.
At first, I didn't intend for it to become something I did like nearly to the degree that I'm doing it right now. But I was like, oh, this is COVID. I don't know what else to do. So I hit the go live button, and then I kind of just did it for like 30 plus hours a week for now over a year, you know, with like very little time off from doing it. And you know what? I love it. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have no intention of stopping.
Right. Even as gigs come back, it'll always kind of be
I'll have to
a
pare
side
it down
hustle.
a bit. I won't be able to do it for 30 hours a week. It's not realistic because you know, and I know that when you're in the like gigging grind, it's like you're like, oh, that must be nice. You work like 4 days a week for like 2 hours. That must be nice. But that's like just so far from what the reality of it is. Like all of the work is behind the scene. There's so many hours spent in transit and yada yada yada.
Rehearsals, preparing, practicing the music on your own.
Yeah.
Answering emails. It's
it's a full-time job, right? Like even if you're only playing for 8 hours in a week, and you know, which is like some weeks it's way more than that. Some weeks you're like on stage for 20 hours. You know?
I always tell people like being on stage is the easy part of being a musician.
It's the only good part.
And it's the only good part. And I would say to anyone who's like, I think I want to be a musician, it's like, just know that the part that you like will be 10 to 20%.
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
Best of what being a musician is. And it's like, I hope you like, you know, like organizing PDFs.
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean, it's just like one of those things where I think people look at everything through kind of like rose-colored glasses when they idealize like potential goals. It's like, I want to be a musician because how amazing would it be to like do something I love and get paid to do it. And people do the same thing with like live streaming, like Twitch streaming as well. It's like, how amazing would it be to get paid to do something I love and just have legions of fans, just like followers, hanging out and supporting everything I do. And it's like, it's both of those things are very fun, but particularly music. It's like there's so much stuff that you don't see behind the scenes, and I think that when it comes to digital content creation, if you want to call it that, like live streaming, there's so many people just view it as like, well, I'll just play video games and people will pay me, but that's like not what it is. And like that, and if you approach it in that way, then you're going to be really disappointed when you find out that nobody's interested in watching it and nobody's interested in paying you to do it. Because you're not providing anything of value or interest to almost anybody, if that's what you think it is. And I think the same goes for music. If you think all you have to do is hop on a stage, it's like, I'm a musician, I'm an artist, like, you are so dead wrong. Like there are so many like job skills that are not performing, and it's so like much vital job skills.
And I would say probably the same skills that helped you on Twitch helped you develop a music career, which is like building relationships, building community, being consistent and organized.
Absolutely. But you know that when somebody walks into a room with like somebody shows up to your gig with the express purpose of networking with you, you can like see through. It's such like a slimy ruse. You see it coming a mile away. Right away, and nobody's interested in it. Like the only way that it actually works is to have a genuine interest in the people around you and what they're doing. And
that's like,
that stuff,
I've noticed that
what I mean?
Watching your stream, like, I think you are very conscious about nurturing your community. Like,
those people are my friends, man. Like, you know,
it's not just you like being sick at Mario. Because like, honestly, who cares? I could watch speed runs of Mario.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
better. There's many, many people that are better.
And there's just an endless sea of content for people being really good at video games. Like, what I've noticed on your stream is that you're more like making it a fun hang for everyone. Like because
that's what I'm looking for. I'm like, the video game is like I mean, it takes up like this much of the screen, and the other part of the screen is like your webcam or whatever, and this is the video game over here. It takes up the majority of the stream. But the what's interesting is in this corner of the screen and this corner of the screen, which is the broadcaster that you're watching and the community of people that are watching it. Like, though, that's where the actual interesting content is in the personalities of the broadcaster and of the viewers. It's like that's the real thing. Like, that's what actually makes it interesting.
And people have probably started following you as much for the other followers as for you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm the least funny person there.
Yeah. It actually is. Your stream chat is a little bit intimidating. Like,
why is that? I'm curious.
Because everyone is hilarious.
Yeah, they're very funny.
Like, every
people.
third comment is making me like laugh my ass off, and then I'm going to type something, and I'm like, I don't know if this is good enough.
Well, a pro tip if you want to like be among those ranks is I just have to be the butt of every joke. As long as I'm the butt of the joke, trust me, there's like however many people there, that's how many people are down with what you said. Like, I too say fuck that guy.
That's great. All right, well, we lost a bit of time to the interventions.
Joel,
of
we lost an entire year of our prime. Don't try and brush it off. It's not just a little time. We lost an entire year off the prime of our lives, Joel.
And we were all I don't know if
you're talking about the broadcast tonight. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah.
I mean, I also do think you and I were both peaking creatively and professionally, and
like looks, like demeanor.
I'm
everything.
definitely at my peak hotness. There's no question.
Well, you're engaged, right?
I'm engaged.
Does the audience know that?
So I don't need to keep trying.
Do you brag about that to the viewers of the show?
I don't. I just. Not even intentionally, but I have tended to keep my personal life out of it. I did talk about being engaged last week, though.
Okay.
So I'm not like trying to hide it or anything.
Like you're just not trying to flex too hard that like there's a chance that when you go home after this broadcast that you might see boobs.
I don't want anyone who doesn't have that same window of potential to feel worse than me.
Yeah, of course.
You know. So
I mean, luckily. Yeah. As long as their power doesn't go out because of their ultra hot takes, through the magic of the internet, amazing things can happen.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, definitely looks wise. I mean, I am getting married soon, which means I don't have to keep trying to look good for much longer.
Right. You're just. Have you decided already?
I know what some people are thinking, and yes, this is me trying.
I'm throwing in the towel the second where Stevie Wonder wedding song #1 signed, sealed, delivered.
You are the sunshine of a balding, fat, stains on shirt.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, it's good to have short-term and long-term goals. You know?
And this one's kind of both.
Yeah, well, that's the amazing thing about it. You can work on becoming a worse version of yourself for your entire life.
Yeah.
And like consistently get worse at it.
Yeah. Just when they think I've hit bottom, I'll find some new creative way.
I'll have some new degenerate hot take that I put all over the internet.
Oh, watch, in 10 years I'm going to be like a hot takes in my truck guy.
Yeah. Joel, I have one question. For you before we move on to music and whatnot. And that's did you feel any pressure to still be at least somewhat active on social media during the pandemic to stay relevant in everyone's mind for the inevitable renaissance of gigs and whatnot?
100%. I did.
Yeah.
I definitely felt the like pressure to like win COVID. Like,
right, sure.
Like I definitely
come out of COVID with more than you.
Yeah, like it. Be like hit the ground running kind of thing. Sure. I definitely felt all of that, and I'm like hyper anxious about it.
Right. See, I usually post quite frequently on social media.
Yeah.
But due to this whole thing, I like have very, very little, and you know what? I think I don't give a shit. You know.
I think it's not
Like, we'll
all-
see. We'll see, though. Like, it might very negatively affect me. There's just no way of knowing.
I don't think it will. Like for me, it was a bit of both. Like I think I had that anxiety and it was manifesting, but I also think I like making things.
Yeah.
And
sometimes
doing
making
things.
things is as simple as, like, just posting, like, something stupid or funny on social media.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's that, and
I agree
sometimes
with you.
sometimes it was me being like, I learned a solo and now I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, sure.
And even like making that video meant that I had that little bit of fire under my ass to practice that week. Or
Yeah,
like,
sure.
you know,
yeah,
so
absolutely.
So like I think there was like I don't know, like maybe bad motivation of being worried that I need to stay relevant and need to stay in everyone's minds. But then there was also the good motivation of like, I'm going to be a happier person when I'm doing things.
Right.
So-
yes. Which is absolutely true. Oh, man, languishing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, like, to my knowledge, like, languishing is just the same as, like, lazing, except it's more dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like languishing away in your shitty, dole-funded musician apartment is like, it's not a good look for
Yeah.
anyone.
I think
it doesn't
that-
feel good, you know?
I think that I actually generally felt good when I was doing things on social media and felt bad when I looked at what anyone else was doing.
You know what? Isn't that the kick?
Yeah. So then
Do
it
you
makes
think
me
the
wonder.
average person does not approach social media like, how can I make this like more fun for myself and everyone? Like,
Yeah.
there's no fun. It seems like most people aren't having any fun with it. And my
Yeah.
question to the people who aren't having any fun with it, which is probably everyone, because nobody seems to be having any fun with it. Like, why are you taking it social media? Why are you taking it so seriously?
I
Have
actually
some
think-
fun with it.
I think absorbing social media makes you feel worse than contributing to it
Yeah.
in general. So I think there's a lot of people who are read only with social media, and I
Right.
don't think that's the right. Personally, I don't think that's the right way to go about it.
Right.
And I think you and I are actually both people who think a lot about what we're putting out there. Like I definitely try to think about like, if I'm going to post this, does it serve anyone other than me? Like,
Right.
or will this make someone else smile or feel, or
Yeah,
will they find
I
this
agree with
funny
that.
or whatever? And I don't know if I always hit the mark, but I try to at least do something
Well,
other
you're
than
not
just
going to hit a bullseye if you don't throw a few darts, you know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So yeah, I don't know. It's complicated. I think there's good and bad motivations in there.
yeah.
And I don't
How
know.
do you feel about new social media? Are you gonna TikTok? Are you TikToking?
I've always been behind the times my
Yeah.
whole life. So I'm not an early adopter of anything.
Right.
Like
right.
something has to become very mainstream and then I reluctantly get on board. Like I
gotcha.
I had Facebook like 5 or 6 years after most people. Same with Instagram.
Yeah.
I just hear about these things and I just go like, no. Like
Yeah.
I'll do it if I absolutely have to. I'm still not on Twitter.
Right.
And yeah, TikTok maybe if
Well, the good news about Twitter is I think Twitter is less like about interacting with people you know in real life,
Yeah.
and more about interacting with the conversations surrounding whatever subjects you curate your Twitter towards at
Yeah.
large. And so I think if by now you're not on Twitter, you've escaped. Like, you don't ever
Yeah.
need to be on
But
Twitter.
now I'm like, oh, do I need to like get a Discord? I don't even know what that is.
Right, yeah. Every Twitch streamer in the world has a Discord.
Right.
And the nature of it, like, it will at some point, I think, become like Facebook, where it just becomes a little obsolete because everyone has it. So it's like, it's too, like, nobody wants to engage with your like artist page specifically on Facebook because every artist has an artist page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if every streamer on Twitch has a Discord and every viewer is a member of X number of Discords, like, what is going to make you choose to interact with this one at the expense of all others? Eventually you just say fuck it and you mute them all and you don't check
Yeah.
any of them out.
This is why it drives me crazy that like
Which is what I do, to be honest.
that like Factor, which is an organization that gives like recording artists in Canada money to make records.
Yeah.
You get to different levels by having a certain number of social media followers.
Oh, I know. How awful is that?
It's terrible.
Isn't that awful?
It is. It's like
the antithesis to like creative art, like, because it's something that the thing that is most likely in need of funding is the thing with the smallest audience.
Yeah,
If
and
a
I
thing
get that,
already has I mean, granted, I understand that organizations like Factor need to generate revenue from a certain percentage of things that they're granting, or else there's no money to go around.
And Factor's mandate specifically is like, we're not an arts council. Like, we fund things that we believe have market potential.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
But I still think that's a stupid way to do it, because someone who is good at getting social media followers isn't even necessarily good at getting people to a concert. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Totally. It's a different racket.
Yeah.
And I think the gap in that understanding that those are two different things is going to shrink as the like generation that's in charge is more social media savvy.
Yeah.
Whereas I think people that are in our kind of age range, like, which is to say early to mid 30s, are not really in charge at most places. You know what I mean? So the generation that's in charge, still there's a large knowledge gap between what social media is as a concept and how it works in practice.
Yeah, totally.
And that leads to stupid shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I like? I like that MacArthur Genius Grant. You know about this thing?
Yeah.
I think this thing is the best. I don't know if everyone in the audience knows about it, but it is like basically they give to all sorts of people in various fields, scientists, writers, musicians, blah, blah, blah. And they're just like, you're a genius. Like, we don't know who decides that, but there's a group of private benefactors somewhere that's like, you're a genius. And here's $1 million just so you can, no obligation to do anything, just so you can continue being a genius with less financial burden. That's dope. You know?
I think that's very cool.
I think I deserve one.
I'm super down, like, as, I don't know, man, like, as we're leaving this time of like relative wealth equality that came about post World War II.
Yeah.
And we're clearly just returning to a state of wealth inequality that has been fairly consistent throughout most of history. If that's about to happen, let's bring back the patronage system.
Sure.
I'm totally happy to be the court composer of some rich guy who just every morning like goes to me and is like, I need a track that slaps for dinner.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's do it. And I'm just paid to be on retainer. And then
you're like, I can do that by dinner.
And then, yeah.
Because you pay me just to like write tracks I'm just writing tracks all day because I don't have to worry about feeding myself.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can release the music to the wider public, you know. But really, it was something that slaps for dinner. I think it'd be great.
Name of the next record, by the way.
Okay, let's get Jeff in here and let's play.
Hey, Jeff. Coming. Hey, Jeff, we're going to do the music. I didn't want to step any toes. It's Joel's show. It's not my show. But I really think that Jeff should be your Andy Richter, like I was saying, who sits on the couch and just like chirps in a witticism every once in a while. I know that Jeff would rather sit in the other room on his phone while we talk. But sorry, Jeff, you're a professional. It's part of the gig.
Well, and normally Rich is here too. Honestly,
does Rich do witticisms?
I mean, I don't give him a mic.
Yeah,
but,
thank God.
The thing is, I usually it's just like it's a lot to set up this show.
Yeah.
And the idea of having 2 more mics to set up, I'm just like, no.
That's too many. Too many. Like the ballet. Do you get it? Because they wear tutus.
Oh, gotcha.
Two, and there are many of them. Two, or two. You see? That's the type of highbrow humor that the MacArthur Fellowship should be taking notice of right now.
Comedians in the biz call a panel bit.
That's right here. You know.
Yeah. Came here with all your panel material. Okay. Let's fucking go. I had you learn some Boogaloo stuff. Oh yeah, I'll turn down. had you learn some Boogaloo stuff, which you graciously learned, and we're gonna play it now.
Yeah.
And then we're also, well, I'll talk about what the other things we're gonna do there. How about some reverb on that note too? That'll be nice. Yeah, that looks about right.
Hey Joel, before we begin, is there any chance there's another Miller High Life kicking around?
There is.
Proud sponsor of this episode of the podcast.
On your production system, I can go get it.
Lonnie, I wouldn't dream of it.
Thanks, man.
I wear as many hats on this show as I can. Including hard.
There's only one hat.
That's for the ASMR
There's
fans.
only one hat.
Yeah, Miller High Life. I'd love a sponsorship, even if it's just beer. Actually, if it's money instead of beer, I'll take that. Okay, this is we're gonna have Tom play on a tune of mine called Duquesne Smile.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
like the old days.
Yes, all one of us.
All right, Tom, you sound great. Did we get any viewers back after the blackout?
Oh yeah, we're rocking all the same. Everyone's back.
Oh my
hi.
God.
They're most of your Twitch fans.
Hey guys, hey.
God bless all of you
Love
for tuning
yous.
back in. Thank you. By the way, we do have the virtual tip jar situation. If anyone wants to toss in there, that's how we.
That's how we roll.
That's how we. I can't even say that's how we keep the lights on. Unfortunately. All right, let's play another. Tom, you.
Do the slinky one.
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's do the slinky one.
So this is another JV's Boogaloo tune. It's actually our filmographer's favorite Boogaloo song, David Lonergan.
That's right.
Some
Some of you know him as GNU.
You said that, and then he was like, I suppose it is.
I actually, so the song is called "I Suppose It Is," and it's called that because so the bass line to the James Brown song "Ain't It Funky Now" is this. And the bass line to "I Suppose It Is" this. So it's the exact same bass line, one semitone lower and several BPM slower. So I called it "I Suppose It Is" because ain't it funky now? I suppose it is. Rough. Okay, here's the tune. I suppose it is. Thank you. That was I Suppose It Is, written supposedly by me. But, I mean, there's a case to be made that's not the case.
Well, isn't that how people have been stealing compositions for centuries? Is just like taking the bits that no one's going to notice and rewriting the melody. Why is it the melody? Is the only thing that gets... You know?
I mean, I guess it's not the melody, it's melody.
Right.
So like you can't just write a song around like the string part in Gangster's Paradise either.
Well, what was that first? That's presumably
first
a sample.
It was Pastime Paradise.
Right,
by
yeah.
Stevie Wonder.
Gangster's Paradise is better.
It's a better song.
This is a hot take I have. I'm not a very... maybe it's weddings, man. I
know this hot take.
Yeah.
You don't love Stevie Wonder.
I don't love Stevie Wonder as much as everyone else.
And I think, I can't go with you there.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? This is why I'm in this... metaphorically, that opinion has caused me to be behind a plastic shield, isolated from the rest of musicians for a very long time. And finally, the metaphor has come to life.
I would say specifically with the double album Songs in the Key of Life, I think there's some of my favorite music of all time is on that album.
Yeah.
But I definitely skip Pastime Paradise usually. I usually skip Village Ghetto Land. Mm-hmm. And I usually skip Contusion. Like the random fusion song.
The fusion song is a decision.
Like it's like...
you know what? And part of it is I haven't like explored the catalog maybe as much as I would have with other artists in that realm of accolades, you know what I mean? But it's because I've played... There's at least a dozen Stevie Wonder songs that are wedding band staples.
Yeah.
And they're all like... You know, athletes we retire their jersey numbers. You've got the great one, number 99 up there. You know, like Jackie Robinson, you've got all these athletes, and it's like, no, that number's off limits. Like, that was theirs.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that with Stevie Wonder? His songs are so great. Maybe they're off limits. No more fucking awful wedding cover band versions of Sir Duke, please.
I would like to stop ruining those great songs. I would.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what can you do? People want to hear them. Like, I will say, though, Superstition, even though it's probably the most overplayed cover band song of all time, the original recording of Superstition is still maybe the funkiest music.
It goes pretty hard. I'm not going to deny that.
It's unreal how
it goes pretty... It's crazy how hard it goes compared to all... It's like when you go to jazz school, like Chameleon. Yeah. Like, you know, you got your, like, jazz school jam of Chameleon, and it's just, like, it's not there. It's not really... There's not a lot there. But then you listen to, like, Chameleon from the Headhunters record, and you're like... this slaps so hard. This is the hardest I've ever been slapped.
I think the true mark of something being great is if it gets completely ruined.
Right.
It's
Well,
like,
did I ever tell you the story about me hearing Uptown Funk for the first time?
no, I don't know.
I was like, I liked to listen to the radio. At this time in my life, I was interested in the radio. This is like, how long ago did Uptown Funk come out? Like 5-6 years
I
ago?
think it could be even more than that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was listening to the radio a lot, just in my home. And one day, Uptown Funk came on. New song by Mark Ronson featuring Bruno Mars, Uptown Funk. And we were about, I don't know, 30 seconds into the song, I turned it off because I'm like, my God, I'm going to be playing that song at every jobbing gig I do for the next 20 years. And that's proven to be true.
You haven't been wrong so far. So far, Uptown Funk undefeated. Yeah. All right. Well, let's play some more. So one of your regular things that you used to do in Toronto pre the vid was the Tom and Bruce show.
Oh my God! Does this mean we get to jam?
So I really think it's amazing. Like
Yes.
a lot of people have had some pretty great accomplishments musically in Toronto over the years. There's a lot of musicians who've done some cool things.
I won a Grammy.
Yeah,
I won
I
a
won a Juno. I toured the world.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Moffett had convinced the Cameron House to host a regular free improvised music night.
That's true. I was like, hey guys, can me and Bruce just like? Well, actually, you know what? It wasn't even that. We kind of like lucked into it. I didn't have to do much like cajoling about this because Arif Mirbaghi, who do you know Arif? Surely.
Not really.
Oh,
I mean,
tragic.
like in passing.
Arif is the best, but he had a regular Monday night thing going for just a short amount of time, maybe like a month and a half, where he was playing. Oh God, I'm gonna butcher the name of the instrument, so I'm not even gonna say it. It's like an Iranian lute, basically.
Oh,
and he would
okay.
like shred on this thing, and he would do all these like,
something.
yeah, he would do all these like gnarly tunes. It was like really like heady stuff, man. But then he moved to Tehran,
Right.
like permanently. but the way we kind of found this out is he's like, hey Bruce, can you just take over my Monday night? Like, can you do next Monday at the Cameron House during the usual slot? And then I was the only other one in that like ensemble that was called Savar that was available for that particular Monday. So me and Bruce, we just did some of the tunes from that repertoire.
Right.
And then we just kind of kept the gig. The gig stayed ours. And then we started calling it the Bruce and Tom Show and inviting guests. And it became like full improvisation. Like eventually it became, we would improvise an entire set, like somewhere between 25 and 45 minutes. Then we'd take a break and then we would do it again. Just like a full improvised set with different guest musicians. You did one.
Yeah, I did one.
Yeah.
That was super fun. And yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, I mean, the Cameron House is one of the great music venues in Toronto, I think.
One of the greats. One of the greats anywhere, I would say.
Yeah, it's like it's a small place, but you just go there and you have a great time, and it's just a magical vibe. But free improvised music, not really the common.
Yeah, not such the like. There was a lot of times that we opened for like singer-songwriters with an acoustic guitar. A lot of times we opened for Heavy on the Willie, great Willie Nelson cover band. Well, not strictly Willie Nelson, but
Right.
it's the set list is heavy on the Willie. There's a lot of Willie, not exclusively.
Willie and some Philly.
Yeah, so going from like free improv shit to that. And it really, you know what? It kind of worked really well. Like, it wasn't everyone's cup of tea. Like there was one particular rather unpleasant lady that flatly refused to put any money in the tip jar because of how much she hated.
She was like, I want you to know I'm doing this because I just
Yes, yeah, exactly, because of how much she hated the music. But there was like another young lady. So this was an old wretched lady. She lives in wretched parts of town, like Yorkdale or something like that. Just wretched.
By wretched, I want to make clear that we mean wealthy.
Yes. Oh yeah. That's it's a euphemism. But there was this nice young lady, not wretched. Although the wretched woman probably thinks the roles are reversed. She probably sees this young woman as wretched.
Yeah.
Because she's an artist. She has her notebook and she's doodling in her notebook, and she's there by herself listening to the music. And she put in $2 into the jug or whatever. But there were tears. She cried. She was like, "That was so beautiful. Thank you so much." I'm like, "Oh my God."
That's
amazing.
That's what we're all trying to do is reach
So like
people on that level.
even at a place where that music is not generally championed, they are willing to take a lot of chances on a lot of like creative artists, and they keep creative original music alive for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
So venues like that their importance cannot be understated in the Toronto
Absolutely.
music landscape.
There's so much more than a building and some sound equipment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people live there, you know?
Well, and literally in that case, people live there. Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna improvise something now.
Oh, hell yeah! Let's
in
go.
honor
Let's
of
go to space.
in honor of the Tom and Bruce show.
Bruce, if you're listening, if you're still out there, one love, man. I miss you. I love you. You're the best roommate a guy could ever ask for.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, Bruce is alive and well.
Yeah. All right, take it away. Us. Yeah.
Oh, is there anything that feels better than going to space and coming back?
Nah, man.
Unlike the first people unfortunate enough to hop aboard Elon Musk's space shuttle, we came back.
Yeah. Unlike Neil Armstrong, who never went. If you know how to look at a video with some critical thinking. Oh, I just
Very well said.
I just stopped recording there for some reason. I guess. Anyways, it's still going out there. This doesn't need to be talked. This doesn't need to be discussed even slightly. That was fun, man.
Yes, I concur.
It's playing that way is. I hope it's fun to listen to because it sure is fun to do. Yeah.
I have a feeling it's more fun to do than listen to a lot of the time, but there are plenty of substances out there that open your third eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
that tapestry behind you looks a hell of a lot better with some of them as well.
So you've played with the Lizards a few times now, which some people watching know the Lizards, but Rich, who's normally here on guitar, and I are in a Fish tribute band called the Lizards. And
Jeff, you didn't want that gig, or?
I couldn't do it.
Jeff was unavailable. We offered him. We said we'll give you all of the profits for the first 10 years.
Jets just tied it up.
Oh, Jets just tied it up.
Just tied it up.
You too.
That's what I like to hear. I feel like they're definitely gonna win a token "Hey, we tried" game and then lose game 5. That feels right.
Yeah.
You know?
Gentleman's sweep.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like you swept us, but like, you know. And no, that's whatever. They exceeded expectations for me this year, and I'm just happy to see the boys.
Just happy to be there, you know?
Happy to just be watching sports, man.
Dude, remember at the start of this whole thing I feel like we keep coming back to COVID, but let's be real. Were it not for COVID, this show wouldn't exist.
This show is
think-
somewhat about COVID.
Yeah, we're
I mean,
duty bound to talk about it. But
Yeah.
remember the part of COVID where like things were still novel and like we were all watching Tiger King, but like also there were no sports.
Yeah.
That was dark, hey?
Yeah, there were no sports. We were watching a deranged man abuse tigers, and we were all becoming communists. That's what happened.
Net gain?
Yeah, I mean, you keep the good, you leave the bad. All right. Well, I kind of, I mean, we've been at this a while. It's probably time to wrap it up.
Well, by God, then I guess we shall.
I think, Tom, what I'm going to do, because I feel like...
Sorry, I just got a text message.
I think you should...
I'll be right with you. I just got a text message.
You should answer it. It could be a gig hold
Yeah,
for
it might be a gig.
late October.
Yeah, late October, early November. It says dress pants necessary, and I'm wearing black jeans. That's a little life hack they don't teach you at school.
Yeah. They also don't teach you that if you just wear black shoes, they don't need to be dress shoes.
They just need to be black.
They just need to be black.
That's right.
Especially if you're going to... I mean, the funny thing is, unless you're a singer, and then none of these rules apply because people are actually going to be looking at you. They should make at least twice as much as we make.
Well, they do.
Yeah, and I'm saying they should.
Well, also, their market cap is significantly higher.
Yeah.
Like the potential earning power that a singer has versus a trumpet player is astronomically different.
Yeah.
You know what I
It
mean?
really is. There's maybe 10 trumpet players alive in the world at any given time who get to be very wealthy from playing the trumpet.
Yeah, like,
You know?
I guess, like, number one, I don't know if he's still alive, is Herb Alpert
Yeah.
because of A&M Records. Well, no, Quincy Jones is number one.
But he's not rich as a
He didn't
trumpet
make,
player.
yeah, he didn't make his money
I'm
playing
talking about
trumpet.
your Chris
But,
Bodies.
but neither did Herb Alpert. I mean, he
Right.
did make bank being a trumpet player, but he mostly made bank owning a successful record label.
I'm talking about that guy in
Chris
Dave
Bodie,
Matthews Band.
yeah,
Chris Bodie.
Wynton Marsalis.
Wynton Marsalis.
Yeah.
Anyways, tough gig.
Tough gig, right? Tough gig. It's one worth getting into for the money if you want the amount of money you make to be low.
Speaking of trumpet players who were great and never became wealthy and then died in a bizarre and tragic incident, we've arranged to play a Lee Morgan song.
Oh yeah, are we gonna do it? All right,
Let's do it. I don't know about you, but Lee Morgan is like a top shelf trumpet player for me.
Yeah,
because
Lee Morgan's amazing.
He's got all those records where like the first track is some like kind of boogaloo groovy thing to pull everyone in, and then the rest of the song is
Rudy
like,
Van Gelder wanted his piece of the pie too, you know?
and then the rest of the album is like fire post bop weirdness.
Yeah.
Like the album that this tune is on is a prime
The
example. Because it opens, the album The Gigolo opens with this song, Yes I Can, No You Can't, which is just like groovy and fun and awesome. And then the next song, I believe, or no, I'm thinking of the album Cornbread.
Yeah, no, the next song, you're right, though. The next song is like a 12-minute modal jazz exploration.
Yeah, exactly. And it's great. It was like he came to the session with like all of the songs, and then the producer was like, you have to do this one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Then you can do whatever you want. And you're like, okay. Anyways, I still think this song is great and brilliant. I'm not trying to diminish it at all. It's just that it's a little bit more accessible, and that's what I love about it.
Right. I mean, hey, man. Anyone can hum a Beatles tune.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So I think this is going to be it. What I was going to say, Tom, though, is that I feel like you got a little bit ripped off by the power outage. So maybe what I'll do
is that right?
I'm planning to do...
Wouldn't be the first time that I've been silenced, Joel.
I'm planning to do 2 more of these and wrap up season 1 of 6 Feet From Stardom, and maybe I'll get you on again as like a co-host.
Oh my God! Look at this. See, this is what you do. You dress for the gig you want, not the gig you have. Right? You wear a nice button-down shirt with some flowers on it, and next thing you know, you're co-hosting a fucking jamming podcast.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And who, like, you couldn't ask for a better launching pad. You know? All right. Well, please, everyone, if you want to give us some money for the show, and I think you should, find that virtual tip link, toss us a few bucks so I can pay these fellas. And I'm going to be taking next week off because I actually have to go and do things for planning my wedding.
Oh, yeah? Are you getting married, Joel?
Yeah, I am actually getting married. It's pretty cool. And then I'm going to do 2 more of these. I actually have on the 21st lined up great singer Vince Bertucci is going to be coming on. Great singer, better guy.
Wow.
And so, give it up for Tom. Everyone drop some tips. I guess you're promoting your stream would be...
Oh, yeah, sure. You can follow me on Twitch. It's Contra with 4 A's.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Contra.
Well, they're all here. They know.
Contra. There might be other people who don't know. Follow Tom. Watch him. It's a really fun time. I definitely use it as my work breaks. When I come on, it's usually like I've been doing some work, and then I've made myself a snack, and like rather than watch some dumb YouTube video, I'll watch your stream for a bit, and it's a delightful
or a
little
dumb
break.
YouTube video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And next time I can stream to your Twitch channel for my platform at the same
Oh
time.
my God! Look at this.
So
We can
next
do
time,
the
let people know that there's more options.
we can do the mega multi stream.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Next time we'll do it.
I just blew a bowl.
Look at that. Jeez.
Every time I think too hard, I feel like I blew a bulb.
Okay, so this is Yes I Can, No You Can't by Lee Morgan. And thank you all so much for watching. And keep on keeping on out there, everybody. We're almost there.
Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Eat the rich.
That's more what's up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Thanks especially to those Contra followers.
Oh my god. Thanks, Yoooo.
Thanks so much for tuning in. And yeah, we'll see you next time, everybody. Give it up for Tom wherever you are. Give it up for Jeff Halschuk on the drums. Go Jets, go baby.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay, I'm sorry. I ruined it. But thanks for watching the show. Love y'all. See you later.
Bye. Yeah, man.